Hello everyone, today we're going to test 3 portable Freesync monitors and see which one is the best one for your handheld. Before we jump right into the topic, I want to let you know that one of these 3 monitors is false advertisement and doesn't support Freesync at all. So I'll be using that monitor as an example just to show the difference. In today's test, I'll be using the Legion Go and Steam Deck OLED for the test, simply because both of their screens don't support VRR natively. But just for your reference, I've tested all 3 monitors with ROG Ally, and it worked just like the others. Please stay tuned, let's jump right into the topic. The first one we're going to look at is the Omni VX1755 portable FreeSync monitor from ViewSonic. It's a 17-inch 1080p and has a maximum refresh rate of 144 Hz. It comes with a price tag at $239, making itself the most expensive monitor today. It is also one of the 2 portable monitors out there that's officially certified by AMD FreeSync Premium. The second monitor we're testing today is from UPERFECT, and it's a 17-inch 1080p gaming monitor that supports maximum refresh rate of 144 Hz. It also claims supporting not only AMD FreeSync, but also AMD FreeSync Premium Pro, which means it supports not only VRR and NFC, but also it should support HDR. And the last one we have today, it's also from UPERFECT. It's a 16-inch gaming monitor, sold at $143 at the time I purchased it, and it claims supporting AMD FreeSync plus HDR. That's equivalent to AMD FreeSync Premium Pro. The best part is it has a native resolution of 2K 1440p. Sounds too good to be true, right? Today we're going to test them all out and see which one holds the promise and thus the best one. Let's start with the most expensive one, ViewSonic VX1755. This monitor has 2 USB-C ports and 1 HDMI mini port. It comes with a USB-C to USB-C cable, 1 USB-A to USB-C cable, and 1 HDMI to HDMI mini cable. Although you may output the graphics with a single USB-C cable connected to your gaming device and benefit from the AMD certified FreeSync Premium, your device may run out of power faster than you think, because the monitor itself consumes some power from your device. So that's why they included a 60-watt adaptive charger. This charger, though, when it's connected to the topmost port of the monitor, it can deliver power to your device if your device is connected to another USB-C port. So you don't have to purchase extra dongle just for connecting your charger. This monitor can handle them all together. Here I have tested how much power it can deliver to my Legion Go. And as you can see, it's charging my Legion Go around 37 to 38 watts. This is definitely not enough to fully charge a gaming device like this. Normally you would need 60 to 65 watts of power delivery in order to get the device fully charged. And here I tried charging Steam Deck using the same charger, same cable, and as you can see, the result turned out to be this charger can fully charge the Steam Deck because it's charging at 40 to 45 watts per hour. So that's way beyond the requirement of a Steam Deck charger. And later I tried charging my ROG Ally using the same setup and see if ROG Ally can turn into 30 watts boost mode. So for you if you don't know, ROG Ally can only turn into the 30 watts boost mode when your charger is capable of fully charging the device, which is pretty much 60 to 65 watts per hour charging. And the result turned out to be the ROG Ally couldn't get into the 30 watts boost mode, so which means you need a more powerful charger than this adaptive charger. So the most powerful charger I currently have is this 96 watt USB-C Apple charger. So I decided to try charge the monitor and the device respectively using this charger and see if it can achieve 30 watts boost mode. As you can see with this charger, the power stabilized at around 60 watts, which is just enough for ROG Ally to get into the turbo mode, which is super good. This means you can fully charge the device while you're gaming, but please be aware that the cable that I'm using here is capable of delivering 100 watts per hour. If you use a different cable, you may not achieve the same result. Okay, so next let's take a look at how to enable AMD FreeSync on this monitor. AMD FreeSync is only applicable to any USB-C connections, not HDMI connections. I think that is pretty ubiquitous to current portable FreeSync devices. Most of these portable monitors hasn't implemented the HDMI 2.1 yet. So I think that is the reason they don't support AMD FreeSync over HDMI. So if you're connecting your handheld, please use USB-C to USB-C connection only. So for toggling on the AMD FreeSync feature on this monitor, you can access the OSD menu first, then getting to the Setups tab. You can find the AMD FreeSync Premium toggle right there. By default, this feature is likely turned off, and here I'm showing you how AMD software shows when the feature is toggled off. As you can see, AMD FreeSync tab on the AMD FreeSync software says it's not supported. What we need to do is simply go to the same settings menu and turn the feature on. Now you can see AMD FreeSync Premium shows it's enabled on this monitor. This means ViewSonic didn't lie and it holds its promise. This is indeed a AMD FreeSync Premium monitor. So next up, let's try play a game and see how it looks like. Another really important thing I forgot to mention is you want to set this monitor to 144 Hz, which is its maximum refresh rate, because AMD FreeSync only works at a refresh rate that's above 120 Hz. Just for your reference, I am shooting this video at a 1/120 shutter speed, so you should be able to tell a difference, especially when the monitor size is this big. Also, I've set the contrast and brightness level of this monitor to their maximum value, just in case you want to compare the colors. And I also set the volume to the maximum level as well. So for Elden Ring, I am using 1080p resolution and the full screen mode. And you can see if I'm in full screen mode, this monitor won't be able to adjust its refresh rate. You can see the refresh rate is currently stuck to 60 Hz. What we need to do is simply put the game to its borderless window mode. Not all games have this limitation, but as you can see, Elden Ring is an exception here. So we have to put the game to the borderless window mode in order to activate the FreeSync. By the way, for the most AMD FreeSync capable monitors out there, they have this real-time refresh rate shows up in their OSD menu, just like I showed. This is sort of simple yet stupid way of telling a monitor is truly capable of adjusting its refresh rate. Now the refresh rate of this monitor started ticking, and it's almost twice value of our current FPS rate. This means it's doing the low frame rate compensation, and that proves AMD Premium is indeed working on this device. The background of the game now transitions pretty intact. You don't see any wobbles or any lines like tearings happening. It's a very smooth transition between picture and picture. Now with the horse sprinting in the woods, you want to focus on the background trees, because trees are prone to wobble if a monitor doesn't support FreeSync. Now let's go and fight some enemies. There is a reason I choose Elden Ring to test this game, because the parry mechanism really shines the power of VRR. So normally if you have a monitor that doesn't have a VRR, the parry mechanism, the animation of the parry mechanism might miss a frame or two, and that might cause the enemy's weapon instantly appear in front of your face instead of showing the swing transition. Like you're seeing right now, we can almost fully identify what the enemy's next move is, because we can fully see the animation frame by frame, and that definitely helps you with parrying. Okay, so next up, I'm going to apply a frame limiter to the game to cap it at 30 FPS and see how good this monitor is at low frame rate compensation. Again, focus on the backgrounds, on those stone walls and the skies, and see if there is any tearing or wobbles or stutter happens. I think so far this monitor is handling pretty good. The trees on the background and including the ground is very intact when the character moves. I don't see any wobbles, I don't see any tearings, I don't see any like jelly or jello effects appearing. Yeah, I think this is a pretty good monitor. Moving on to our UPERFECT 70-inch game monitor. This game monitor claims it supports AMD FreeSync Premium Pro. Let's take a look at how good it is at handling HDRs. As you can see, it's handling HDR pretty bad. This is basically useless. This is not HDR. This is my overcooked scrambled eggs. But before giving up, let's give it a try and see if this thing can be calibrated any better. Never mind. Yeah, I gave up. The silhouette can't be seen at all. This is not even calibratable. And if you take a look at this picture, the gentleman has already turned into a carrot. So yeah, just yeah, let's forget about this feature and see how good it is handling variable refresh rates. Like our previous monitor, this one's FreeSync feature has to be turned on manually before we can confirm it in the AMD software. Now AMD software shows this monitor is capable of adaptive sync. So what the heck is adaptive sync? Adaptive sync is a variable refresh rate synchronization technology just like AMD FreeSync, but it's managed and published by an organization called VISA. So you can think it as a open source version of AMD FreeSync. However, there are subtle differences. In the VISA paper, in the adaptive sync paper, there is no mention of low frame rate compensation. So it's up to the implementation to decide if they want to implement that feature or not. In the past, I've seen adaptive monitors support low frame rate compensation, but since it's not required by VISA specification, so we still need to test them out in order to verify it truly does. But before that, let's quickly check out if it can fully charge your gaming device. I'm here using the exact same setup, 96 watt Apple charger, and this monitor only let 30, 36, 37 watts power let through from the second USB port, so it's definitely not enough for you to fully charge your device. And let's quickly check if this monitor can enable the ROG Ally's 30 watts boost mode. And the power settles down around 42 watts, and we know this is not enough for ROG Ally to getting to its 30 watts mode. And here you see Armory Crate is giving you a heads up saying your current charger is not enough to fully charge your device. As a conclusion of the charging test, this monitor has failed to deliver necessary power to Legion Go and ROG Ally, but 42 watts power delivery is pretty much enough for the Steam Deck. So if you're a Steam Deck user, you will have no problem with this monitor's charging at all. Now let's continue our testing using our beloved device Legion Go. We will be using the same exact configuration as we did in the last test, 1080p resolution in borderless mode and medium graphics. I think this monitor is displaying the game contents pretty intact, and you can see the background transition is well and smooth. Again, I didn't see any wobbles or tearings, stutters happen on the background. Like the previous monitor, the add time refresh rate can be observed in the OSD menu. However, this refresh rate isn't updated automatically, So you have to press the buttons in order to manually update the value. Now you can see the value is updated when I switch to different tab. The game is currently running at 30 to 40 frames per second, and you can see the refresh rate is also adjusting itself based on that. So this proves that this monitor supports LFC. Let's again enable the frame limiter and cap the frames to 30 FPS. So far, I didn't see any breakoffs happen to the trees or their branches. Everything is displaying so far so good. Like you just saw, it displayed the parry frame by frame without losing any details. This wraps up the test for UPERFECT 17-inch gaming monitor. I think it did a great job in handling those varying FPS. It also did low frame rate compensation despite being a adaptive sync monitor. So I think overall this is a good deal you can get out of the market, considering its price is like 50 bucks cheaper than the first monitor we saw. So this is the last monitor we have to test, and it's from UPERFECT again. It's 16-inch gaming monitor that has a native resolution of 2K 1440p. It claims supporting Freesync plus HDR. I'm not going to test HDR again because we pretty much can guess how it would look like from our previous test, right? So, and I don't think you can really get a good HDR result within this price range. So if you're aiming Freesync plus HDR, you have to look something above $400 or $500 to be honest. However, there is something I really want to show you about this monitor, is that this is actually a false advertisement, and UPERFECT has lied to us claiming it supports Freesync. And I'm going to show you this monitor doesn't support Freesync at all. As you can see, despite of the Freesync is toggled on this monitor, the AMD software still shows Freesync not supported, and it's neither showing the adaptive sync option. Unlike previous monitors, when their Freesync is toggled on or off, the screen went black for a moment. For this monitor though, toggling the Freesync switch did nothing to the monitor, and the monitor didn't even blink. Although we could stop our test right here, but I still wanted to show you guys how a non-Freesync screen look when playing games. If you focus on the background, the stone wall and the ground, you can see it's sort of appearing like a jelly. The transition isn't very smooth, and you can see a subtle lines being drawn with when I try to move the camera. I hope you saw the rendering lines. This is sort of a side effect you get when you play on a monitor or TV that doesn't have VRR enabled. Do you think this can be a deal breaker for you? Well, I think that's a really personal preference question, because if you ask an old gamer like me who played on monitors, TVs without VRR for past 20 plus years, probably not so. But if you ask a new gamers who started playing games after FreeSync, G-Sync became a common thing, then probably yes. And I think there is no right or wrong when it comes to personal preference. With that being said, before I draw a final conclusion and announce the winners for this test, I want to point out a common misconception that I recently saw on my channel as well as other places. And that is, there are some people saying, with help of VRR, it turned my 30 FPS game feels like 60 FPS. That is simply not true, because if it's true, then I think people would sell their 4090s and instead get a Intel Pentium, play the games at 24 frames per second, and let the FreeSync turn the game magically into smoothness of 60 FPS. So please don't fall into statements like that. If you want to understand VRR, there is a really easy way to think of this. You can think the refresh rate of a monitor as the time you blink your eyes in a second. And you can think of frame rate, respectively, as a person standing in front of you with many pictures in his hand, and he's swapping these pictures at a certain speed. So when we say 60 hertz, that means you're blinking your eyes 60 times in a second. And when we say 60 FPS, is that person in front of you is swapping 60 times those pictures in a second. So imagine what would happen when your eye blinking speed matches his picture swapping speed. Every time when you open your eyelid, you will see an intact picture in front of you holding in his hands. You will not see any of his actions, like he's reaching his hand to reach out to next picture. You won't see anything like that. Every time when you open your eyes, you will see an intact picture showing in front of you. So this is what exactly FreeSync is trying to achieve. It's matching the eye blink speed of your monitor with frame generation speed of your GPU. Okay, so that wraps up today's video, and the final winner absolutely goes to ViewSonic Omni Gaming Monitor, because the monitor is capable of letting through enough wattage for the gaming devices, so you don't have to purchase extra dongles for that. And if you're using Steam Deck, you can simply use their adaptive charger and charge it up without spending any extra money, any extra cables. Alright, so thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, please hit that like button and subscribe to this channel. Thank you so much. See you guys next time.